I'm Joe Normal, and you're watching Guitar Tales with Dave Cohen and Scott Guitar Masasenko. Have a rockin' day.
I will listen up. And you know what's scary, Scott? That promo picture of us from the studio, we were younger then. We were handsomer then. Anyway, welcome to a great edition of Guitar Tales. It started out as maybe an intermezzo show. We've been gone for a little while, but now we have the great Chris D'Amico from Suit and Mai Tai. He'll be joining us. He's secretly hiding in the green room right now. But before we pull Scott in, I forget if it's after we pull Scott in. Yep. We got our sponsors here, Confections of a Rockstar. Go, go, go to Asbury Park. The weather is warming up. Get some delicious treats after you leave the fabulous Stone Pony. And then after dessert, have your meal. And by that, I mean have the most delicious post-pupcake cheeseburger you have ever had in your life. Scott's going to move them in right now. Alice Cooper says get a cheeseburger after you have your dessert. There we are. In the same office space, in the same front as the most delicious desserts, best cheeseburger you've ever had, best cheese fries loaded that you've ever had. Little Andy's, they've been sponsoring us, both of them, probably for about a year and a half now, and they're wonderful people with a wonderful product in a wonderful town that we are here to talk about tonight. Scott is not really a co-host tonight. He's a guest tonight, because here's what's going on. Last week, my girlfriend and I went to see him and his band and Suit and Mai Tai at the internationally famous Stone Pony. And we thought, let's get an insider's view of what it's like to prepare for, to set up for, to play, and then promote playing at maybe top 2 or 3 most iconic rock venues, not in the country, but in the world. So Scott, not as a co-host, but as a guest, come on in.
All right. So I'm going to have to change my moniker here. Hold on a second. I could do that.
Nah, you can keep it the way it is because you're really a co-host.
There you go.
You could wear both hats.
Now it says guest.
I like that. So I got to say, first of all, you guys.
First of all, you're going to make me blush. I don't take criticism well, even if it's good or bad.
Yeah, you're not getting no criticism.
I get embarrassed.
Yeah, well, you won't do well with the compliments. So
I'll probably be talking about all the things went wrong, and you'll be talking about all the things went right, which is a whole nother conversation, right? I was talking to Chris D'Amico, one of our drop-in guests tonight. That he said something like, "This is the face I make when I make a mistake." I forget what the meme was, but I'm like, "You make mistakes?" Because I didn't see any.
Right?
I watched the whole goddamn show. I didn't see one single mistake, and people might say that about my performance, and I know I fucked up a couple of times, but and we're going to talk about one thing. That's why I have the Ace Frehley guitar back here tonight. We're going to prove that it actually does smoke, because it didn't smoke at the show.
I know, that's a whole nother story. So I just hung while we were setting up. Wrong hand. I always get this confused. Right back there. You can't really see it on the camera. I'm not going to mess with the camera. Our show made Ace Frehley's very sad, of course. The New York Times obituary. So my girlfriend got it framed for me. Full page ad, and they listed maybe 2 or 3 interviews in a 50-year career, and we were on it.
That's remarkable. I think we had sort of one of the most relaxed discussions with him.
Yeah, and we don't stay
like
on
a bunch
script.
of guys hanging out and chit-chatting about rock and roll and life and so on and so forth. I mean, we were talking about UFOs and all kinds of stuff.
Computers, yep.
Yeah.
And that's our vibe here. So you're wearing 3 hats in your life. You have more. I know you have many more because you're an artist. So you're a pharmacist by day. You host this show theoretically at night. We've done some day shows when we're across the pond taking care of some UK friends.
Right.
But you're a performing musician, and you kind of shrug it off when I'll talk to you about. That's pretty good. But
see, I'm already uncomfortable.
Yeah, I know. I'll make you more uncomfortable. So you figure in this country, the old days CBGBs. West Coast, you've got the Whiskey a Go Go.
Yeah.
But East Coast, Stone Pony, you're sort of hard pressed to find a more iconic rock stage of that size. That's not, it's not in the same conversation as a Madison Square Garden or something really large like that. But that's a different thing. But if you think of the folks who've worked their way through the Stone Pony and obviously made so famous by Bruce, and I loved your version of 10th Avenue Freeze Out, and your guitar work was fabulous.
I was playing horn parts on my guitar. We decided we weren't getting enough hornage, and we don't have a horn section. As you know, I throw in the kazoo once in a while for a saxophone.
It works. It really does.
And my kazoo was breaking. I hit a high note and nothing came out.
And no one noticed.
Yeah. Well, I bought a brand new fancy high-tech kazoo.
Oh, that's great.
Came yesterday, and
does that actually exist?
Yeah.
A high-tech kazoo.
It's manufactured with a mouthpiece on it that's more or less like a
clarinet,
like a whistle. It's a little smaller.
Right.
It's not a bigger opening.
Okay, so you get less spit in there.
I guess it's concentrating the.
Wait, show us again.
Concentrating the vibrations, and then on the other end it has a horn, like a funnel almost.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it looks like Spanky's kazoo from the International Silver String Submarine Band.
Well, that's a bit of a segue, an unintended one, but a good one. So, you and I talk probably 5 times a week, something like that. You worked really hard to prepare for that show, from your equipment, your practice.
Yeah, because I as you know, with my job situation, I've been playing fewer gigs with the Smokin Jackets, and then they've been getting fill-in guys and so on and so forth. So I made a huge commitment, like, I will do the show. Don't worry. I put in for it. There's no way I'm going to be working. Little did I know I was coming down with a cold, which was an whole other issue. My voice held out, though. It was only one set, so, I made it through. But the next day,
I bet you paid the price.
I was feeling it.
But you work, and you work hard for all your gigs. I know you do. We're good friends. We don't just show up when we do this. But there was something different about your preparation for that show. And let's just start by this. I almost think, and the answer might be yes to this, I think as your friend and a fan of your playing, I might be more affected by the fact that you play that venue as opposed to others than you are. To you, is it that much more than
my preparation work for this? Even though I've done the songs a bunch of times, was more or less because Suit and Mai Tai, those guys are they're at a level of musicianship that's like bar none.
Yeah.
And I wanted to make sure I was on my top game. I prepare for all my shows, but I did put a little extra into this, and I went over every single song, even if I played it for 30 years, and I found little nuances and little ideas and little things. Like I did this like Joe Satriani kind of a lick for Country Girl, which I thought sounded really cool.
It did.
I threw that in there. And that was just me dicking around downstairs practicing the songs. I was, there's no pressure when you're practicing. So
right.
You can take chances that you would normally take chances in a live situation or even in a jam situation. So I said, "Oh, that was good. I'm going to
refine it.
I'm going to refine that and make that part of the song." And even the Ace Frehley solo, I want to make sure I got as close to the real solo as possible. I used to just sort of play a Ace Frehley similar kind of thing, but I wanted to play a kind of a note for note thing, being that he had been on that stage at some point in his life, that exact spot where I was standing. And it was just my little personal tribute to the guy, because I really looked up to him.
No, and he's ended up playing a significant role in our paths have crossed with his.
Yeah.
I even for me personally, I when I was in the band with Todd, same band that did our intro music, and we did that same song. We did Rock and Roll All Night, and who would have thought when we played that in '84 that you and I would meet him and have him on our show. And then when we had him and met him on our show, who knew that we would be part of his, it's basically his biography. It's sad to say, but an obituary is a posthumous biography on some level, and that our lives have crossed. So I know for you, when you did that solo, there was an emotional piece to it that you're playing that for someone whose path crossed with a super sweet guy. We became friendly with his band.
Right.
They've done the show with us, and you're playing at a venue that he's played at. Like that must have felt really powerful to you.
Yeah, that's why I was so upset when the smoker didn't go off.
Yeah, I know. It's funny. I was watching your face. I was 7 feet.
So
from
here
you.
I am. I'm on the Stone Pony. I'm trying to play. I've had my personal tribute to Ace Frehley. Right. I got the Ace Frehley guitar here. That's all rigged up. I made sure everything was turned on. Everything was set up.
Tell everyone what turned on means. Not everyone knows about.
Oh, I'm sorry. There's a smoking unit inside that I put in. Right?
That's what Ace used to use.
I don't know what he had. I just had to come up with something to make the guitar smoke. So I went through trials and tribulations, figuring out what kind of unit to put in there, running the wiring, the tubing, the vape juice, the whole thing. I finally got it working. I was super excited. I got this Ace Frehley guitar. I got the lightning bolt strap. I'm at the Stone Pony. While I'm playing this song, all I kept thinking is, why isn't this smoking? What went wrong? What is going on? What has malfunctioned? I'm like, all right, I'll just play the solo, and it must be on me. It must be something that I did. Well, the keyboard guy, Tommy Carlock, and we rehearsed this a couple of times at in rehearsal to get the timing right, when to hit the button and all that. He left the button on the keyboard and went out front with some signs and stuff when he was having a blast, and then totally forgot hit the fucking button.
I watched the whole thing in real time. My heart.
And he could have hit it at the finale even and still didn't remember. He made his way back to the stage where the button was and still didn't.
I know. Yeah, you guys played out, like you extended the song a little bit.
Yeah.
So there was an opportunity.
Yeah,
but
I was not happy.
I know you were. And it's funny.
I felt like I was coming down with a cold. I'm all tired. This thing didn't smoke. I'm thinking about all the mistakes. I was just like down in the fucking dumpers.
But here's the funny thing, is that you and me and myself, I understood. I knew all the effort that went into the smoking unit for the Smokin Jackets.
Yeah.
But for the rest of the audience, just a kick-ass performance, start to finish.
Here's the button. There's a guitar. Let's see if it works. It better work.
Let's see. I'm watching.
There it goes. There's the smoke.
Oh yeah, I see it coming out. Look at that.
It's falling to the ground because it's a little chilly in here.
Yeah.
I got a bigger smoking unit coming.
There you go.
Gonna smoke like crazy.
They have pills for that.
You want to bring Chris in and let him chime in on all this?
Oh yeah,
nonsense?
yeah. Let's do that.
He could possibly be biting his Suit and Mai Tai tongue over there.
That's
all the things I'm talking about that he could add to.
Let's pull him in.
Hey.
Speaking of wearing many hats.
Yes. See?
Yeah.
The captain.
I know he had something to say while I was crooning and groaning over here.
The captain. Gosh, what a moniker that is.
By the way, just Neil Sedaka just passed. And I didn't know until I watched a little bit of Facebook. Was it Love Will Keep Us Together that he wrote?
Yes. At the very end, you'll hear Captain and Tennille sing, Sedaka is back.
Really?
You know what? I think I have that. Believe it or not, I think I have that single.
When you listen to the single,
yeah.
When it changes to the last key change and they go da 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 da.
Right.
Da, Sedaka is back.
That's right. Yeah.
Really?
Because literally at the same time that song was released, he released Laughter in the Rain. And literally the name of the album was Sedaka is Back, and they gave him a shameless plug.
Oh, I love that.
In the song. So
I have a little connection to him. So when I was a little kid, my grandmother lived in Century Village in West Palm Beach, and she was friends with Neil's aunt. One year, Neil Sedaka's aunt bought me some board game for Hanukkah. and that was like a brush with fame for 9-year-old me. But I used to hang out in her little 1-bedroom apartment. Like, she was a nice old lady.
Laughter in the Rain takes me possibly back to one of the greatest times. You know, I was a little boy.
Yeah.
Laughter in the Rain, Bad Blood with him and Elton John.
Right.
That was a great song too.
What an amazing songwriter. You know, they're playing a lot of Laughter in the Rain. That's such a good song.
Oh my gosh. Did you know that Billy Joel, when he wrote Moving Out, he presented it to the band? Anthony works at the grocery store.
Oh my God.
Saving his pennies for some. And Liberty DeVito goes, "You dummy, that's freaking Laughter in the Rain." And he had to rewrite the whole entire thing.
Oh no, it wasn't a joke. He fucked it up.
No, he fucked it. He comes into
you know what he did?
He comes into the session and he's like, "Anthony works at the grocery store, living his pennies for someday." And Liberty goes, "You dummy, that's Laughter in the Rain."
You know what he did? He Danny Partridge to that song. Remember that episode?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Also, you know, like speaking of that era in music and shows, you know, there's also the famous "What's Happening" Doobie Brothers episode. Which Doobie you be?
I don't remember that one.
It was they were on the Gong Show and they were recording them. They were bootlegging them, and it was like a big deal. Oh God, I'll never forget that episode. Which Doobie you be?
Hello there. The Doobie Brothers room, please. And I'll speak with any doobie who do be in.
Hello there. I be Roger Thomas. Which doobie you be?
I mean, between the Monkees and the Jackson 5 cartoons and the Osmond cartoons, and the Beatles cartoons, there were so many musical shows to latch on.
Well, the 70s was the variety show. Like, you know,
it was
singing, comedy, acting, you know.
Yeah.
It was corny as hell, but it was great, you know.
I watched these variety shows, and when they had an older singer on, I don't know, I think of
Chris D'Amico.
I'd say it was UB Blake when he was 90-something years old. I'm like, who's this old fart that's going to play the piano? He's got to be shitty. And the guy starts playing. I'm like, what the?
Yeah. Victor Borge comes in. It's like,
yeah.
They had Roy Clark on the Odd Couple,
right?
Legendary. He ripped it up with that acoustic guitar. We had the band. Was it the banjo or acoustic guitar?
Well, I think
it was an acoustic guitar. He did almost like a flamingo kind of thing.
Yeah. He did Malaguena.
Speaking of, like, you know, we didn't realize how, at least I didn't realize how, like, adept Glenn Campbell was.
Yes. I knew you were going to say Glenn Campbell. Oh my God.
I didn't know he was like the session guy on, like, almost, you know, he was in the Wrecking Crew. Yeah. He was part of that whole Wrecking Crew thing. And he was like all I remember was like a rhinestone cowboy and Southern Nights,
That's
like
a good
that I
song.
remember.
Corny
And
pop songs.
Yeah, they were corny 70s pop songs. And then here's this guy who comes out, he can rip it up.
You know what I love, like on YouTube and just Facebook and Reels and stuff, they're finding all these great old clips of musicians from a long time ago.
Yeah.
And that's also good for the younger folks. Like, my kids are in their late 20s. They have such good knowledge of the older music,
I'll tell you what, I mean, I used to be able to say raised right, but in my other life, I do all of these weddings. And most of my brides and grooms are like, yeah, if you could stop it around 2012, that'd be great. And they prefer all of like the 80s, the 70s.
Yeah.
They prefer all of that stuff.
Yeah.
Because you know what? It goes to, I used to think it was me, like today's music sucks and get off my lawn. No, today's music actually sucks. And
yeah, it does.
And to tell you the truth, it's the kids that are telling me, like, they're sitting there, they're listening to the Beatles, they're listening to Zeppelin, they're listening to, my daughter's listening to all the stuff that when I left the bars and the clubs back in the late 90s, early 2000s, she's listening to all of that stuff that I used to play in the club, Mr. Brightside and the Black Parade and Soundgarden and all of that. She's listening to that era, the 90s era stuff that I was like in the thick of in my 20s.
All right, let me say something controversial. I love Bruno Mars.
That's not controversial.
All right. The reason why I think it's a little bit, I think he is borrowing a lot from that era. Is he?
Oh yeah, heavily.
Is he more than borrowing? Because I saw one like that. I love that new song.
Is it really borrowing though?
That's my question.
Let's put it this way.
Yeah.
Borrowing is literally writing a song that sounds exactly like something else. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
But in that era, you had the spinners, the stylistics, okay, and they all had the same kind of sound, but they were in their lane. You know what I'm saying? Each was individual in their own way, but it was that I'll call it the Philadelphia sound. Is that sound of soul, that Philly soul sound?
Yep.
And what I think he's doing is like, what makes it sound like he's borrowing it is because there isn't another 5 groups doing it. He's the only one now that's doing that.
I never thought he would be able to sort of get anything on the same level as Uptown Funk, because that song is just so unbelievably good, and yet he did it.
Well, Uptown Funk is Jungle Love. Oh, we, oh.
You're right.
Yeah. A lot of the hits of that time was around 2014 when he released it. A lot of the hits of that time, the big hits, were bites of other songs,
right?
Of like 80s type of sounding songs, So even then, actually he got in trouble for, Uptown Funk You Up, said Uptown Funk You Up. Well, that's back to whoops upside your head. It said whoops upside your head. Yeah. He got in trouble for that.
And I guess that's what I was alluding to. Is what he's doing is a brilliant sort of amalgam of other stuff, or is he sort of original enough that he's much more than just able to cull some of this old stuff?
Well, quite honestly, he's one of the only ones that I know that can sing that kind of style.
Yeah.
That's not an easy style you're trying to sing. Like, come on, go back to, like I said, like the stylistics are just, God bless you, you make me feel brand new. You've got to be able to sing in order to sing that type of stuff.
You know who could really sing like that? Chris D'Amico.
Who's that clown? But like, really, that's the type of stuff that it's you've got to have. Even the thing he did with Lady Gaga. If the world that song was fantastic.
Well, I was looking at the Grammy winners this year. Not only do I not know who most of them are, it makes me feel like an old guy, get off my lawn guy. But lot of collaborations there for one hit song. Like 11 guys wrote one song, and then you've got now you're just straight out taking sound bites and beats right off the original, and that's
a lot of sampling going on.
That's the whole other.
But that's the other thing too. Is like I don't know when it started.
With permission. But you're still not creating original music.
8 producers want their points, I guess, so they want to get their name on the song.
Is that what that is?
Yeah. They didn't write it. They they just, okay, so I'll get you pushed further on the radio. Let's get my name on the song, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's tale as old as time, Paola.
And then next thing you know, you end up on the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame list.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, wait. Since you went there now.
Oh boy. Here we go.
And I'm going to say this. I love New Edition. I love Luther Vandross.
Yeah.
I think everybody on this list particularly is deserving of a shot to maybe get in there. But is it really the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Yeah. Why can't we have we have the Country Music Hall of Fame? Why can't we have the R&B Hall of Fame?
This has been the argument for years, and we had Don Jameson on a while back, and all these other guys into it.
Right? Can we just have our thing?
Right? Why is
you know what I
mean?
Like that's what it's not even. Eddie said it. He always says it best, and I agree with him, which is it's not. At this point, it's not so much who they're putting in because they have this agenda to do it.
Yeah.
But it's who's not going in because of that. That's the main problem. When Tone Loc is going to get in before Motorhead, we can't have that.
That's absurd, man.
Yeah, but why is Phil Collins finally getting on this list?
Yeah, and in what context? I guess his solo stuff.
But yes, for his solo stuff. But why is he in 2026 on this list? Why wasn't he on this list in 2000? Do you understand what I'm saying? Where is Styx? Okay, Styx has every right to be on this list right now.
In Excess is pretty close to the way Styx spells their name. That's pretty close.
Well, that's just it too. I mean, In Excess came out in like the mid 80s. By then, Styx had already had a 20-year career.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, man. It's like, I don't know who votes for this stuff, but it's absolutely ridiculous. And the fact that Mariah Carey, I mean, I get it, but it's not a Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. It's a pop Hall of Fame, or you should have a pop Hall of Fame.
So I guess I'm going to take a slightly, but not a strong contrary view, because I don't feel strongly about the contrary view, but as of today, there isn't one. And to pull more people under that tent, and knowing that all the music we're listening to, it derives from the same source, way back when,
blues. I get it.
Yeah. So like, if the root is sprouting all these really cool branches, until we have another Hall of Fame for that stuff, it pulls a lot of folks in, and then it exposes the rock folks to someone they might not normally listen to, and maybe the more pop oriented folks to stuff they might not listen to as much.
This list looks like my Apple playlist. It doesn't look like my rock playlist.
Well,
that's true too.
Iron Maiden could be any further from Mariah Carey musically,
it really can't.
But there's people who should be in already.
Right.
Before the people on this list that are not on, not in on.
Wait, you're telling me, because I didn't even realize this, Styx isn't in there yet?
No.
That's just judging from.
Listen, last year Foreigner just got in. Last year.
Yeah. Great. I saw them.
Just got in.
Johnny
I saw them in '79 at Madison Square Garden.
Billy Squier should be in the conversation.
Oh yeah.
We could do a whole show on his career. That is so sad.
It is. Wasn't it like video.
One Bad Outfit, right?
One Bad Video.
Yeah.
Rock Me Tonight, when he started dancing like,
Yeah.
and it ruined his rock career, you know? And who else? Christopher Cross. Did you know that Christopher Cross was one of the hottest artists in the 80s? And then MTV came out and he made a video and people were like, that's what he looks like? Right? It's not,
I did.
And,
I did.
that's where that voice is coming from, you know? And,
No, it's very.
and he went, you know, right after Think of
Wait,
Laura.
how did he go? How did he go?
Okay, like that, just gone, you know? And right after Think of Laura and General Hospital, he was not thought of anymore. And
Yeah, I know that was sad because his talent is through the roof.
oh my God. If you
Well,
listen
he won Best New Artist at the Grammys, and that's like the kiss of death, right? When you win that.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't even think of that. Yeah.
You want to know what? Another one of my favorite artists of all time won Best New Artist, and like he faded into obscurity, and that's Mark Cohn. Walking to Memphis, Mark Cohn. He won that, and then I was like,
Do you remember?
And I liked him too. You know,
yeah, he was. He got. He was the victim of, I think, like a really violent mugging.
Somebody shot through his tour van, and he got
Something.
hit.
Is that what it was?
And he got hit by a bullet. Oof.
Yeah. Is he? But he's still around. He's okay though.
He's still touring. He's still doing, like, you'll see him pop up at City Winery every year in New York City. Which is great because you know what? I've seen him a couple of times there, and it's a very intimate show. Like you're literally, you know, sitting. You can sit right on top of him. It's like, you know, get your tapas and your wine, and you sit like the table right next to the stage. And just,
Walking on Memphis is like his American Pie.
Well,
like
yes.
It's a perfect song. It's perfect.
Even more of a perfect. First of all, that first album, I'm going to say is a perfect album. One of the most beautiful love songs ever written is on that album. That's True Companion. That's the last track on that record.
I don't know anything but that.
Oh yeah, song. Well, take a minute and just throw that first album, Mark Cohn, up, and just listen to that whole entire record. It's fantastic from beginning to end.
I love going on deep dives like that. You know, it wasn't until Ace Frehley, when we talked about Ace, that when he passed away, that I began to look at the Kiss catalog of songs. And I wasn't a massive Kiss fan, primarily not because I didn't like Kiss, but primarily because my sister liked Kiss, and I could not possibly like the same band that my sister liked. So I was like a little closet Kiss fan listening to the songs, you know.
I was too young for the Kiss Army thing, you know.
You're a few years younger than we are, I think.
Yeah, but you know, it's not the age; it's the mileage. And the thing here is, you know, I was never like. And then as I got older, I started respecting some of the stuff,
right?
Like you know, Love Gun and.
But the older stuff, I mean, but I was like, wow, that's a really clever riff. You know, I'm all about clever riffs when it comes to guitar playing. I'll just learn an entire song just for one cool riff, even if the band's never going to play it ever. I need to play it.
One of my favorite tunes by Kiss is not one of their biggest hits. It's "Hard Luck Woman." That's a great song. You know, there's no major solo in it, and that's mostly acoustic.
Yeah.
And it's just a great tune. It's driving without the grit of a rock guitar, which is actually.
Well, you know, no matter how good their shtick is, if they don't have decent material underneath it, the shtick isn't going to help.
Correct.
You know, and they did. They had some decent writing there.
I love harmonizing guitars, and then I was listening to Parasite the other day. That is so heavy for its time. You got to listen to that one. If you're not Kiss fans, know that song, but it's really heavy, and there's lots of cool little doodads in there.
I like, you know, when they took the makeup off and started doing "Heaven's on Fire" and all of that stuff. That was good stuff too.
And that was brilliant marketing because back in those days, it was like no one saw them without their makeup. So when they finally did take it off, it's almost like they were wearing makeup for the first time. They were like, it was that big a deal.
And they had the biggest vehicle in the world to do it on, which was MTV.
This is a really big moment. After 10 years together, exclusively here on MTV this evening, we're going to see Kiss without their makeup for the very first time. Vinnie Vincent, lead guitarist and co-writer of many of the songs on the current Kiss album. Eric Carr, drummer, has been with the band since 1979. And Kiss is, by the way, the very first band that Eric has ever been with. Paul Stanley, rhythm guitarist and lead vocalist. Paul is a co-founder of the group. Gene Simmons, bass, also co-founder of Kiss. He is the fire-breathing, blood-spitting monster of Kiss. Welcome, you guys. This is amazing.
Yeah.
They showed him with and without makeup. It was like such a big deal back then.
Well, I got trivia for you. So Mark Goodman's the reason why Scott and I are on the air right now.
All right, I got to hear this now. Go ahead.
So do I.
Yeah. So I'm about a few months before this crazy idea of Guitar Tales popped in my head. I'm driving north in Philly, stuck in traffic, and I decide to call, what was that Sirius station, the Volume or something? It had some generic term like that. And Mark Goodman is hosting. So I just wait in the queue, and he picks up, and I said, YYZ or Frankenstein? I'll listen off the air. And he's like, what are you talking about? And I just said, YYZ or Frankenstein? Which one? And eventually he didn't know what the hell. And I said, they're both instrumentals. They're both, really successful. Which one is better? And he's basically in the nicest way, was like, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. And then he just chatted for a bit. He didn't say that part out loud. And then I thought, I want to fucking do this. And then I called Riverview Studios because I had given a legal seminar a few years prior there. First call I made, I thought, if that doesn't work, I'll call community colleges. And they said, sure, we'll do it. But that one phone call with Mark Goodman was what popped the idea in my head to do this.
That's so funny.
Speaking of Hall of Fame,
yes,
I've heard some undertone rumblings about maybe the possibility of a cover band Hall of Fame for New Jersey.
Ooh,
which would be very, 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 very cool.
Yeah,
that is a really cool idea.
When you reach back and you look for you go to Edgar Casey and Home and Molly Cribb and all the guys that used to play all the pay-for-play places like
right.
Creation and Obsessions and all the Final Exam up here and all those other crazy places up here.
Flossie.
Yeah, Flossie. They were everywhere. My God.
I think there were two Flossies.
Didn't they play at the Fountain Casino back in the day?
Oh, yeah.
That's why I know that band when I used my fake ID to get in there.
They're always on. They were always on the banner.
I was just talking to somebody, speaking of rooms, I was just talking about how, we were talking about the kids and how they like our music from our generation. Unfortunately, the kids don't have the rooms that we were privy to. Like where you want to go Monday through Sunday, there was always a place with a band in it when we were coming up.
Yeah.
And that's all gone. Like, it's funny. I mean, every one of the members of Suit and Mai Tai is a North Jerseyite.
Okay.
And the band's complete start and building is from Monmouth County because there's no place up here to play. There's no real place up here to play or get started.
That's why interesting.
When we play the Ringside Pub, in Caldwell, it sells out because there's no other place to see us up here except for there. There's no.
Where are you up in North Jersey? What town are you in?
We're in Roxbury, which is west, like heading out towards the Delaware Water Gap. The Poconos, that way.
I hear Roxbury. I keep thinking of those guys.
Yeah. What is love? Don't hurt me. But we're a North Jersey band, and we broke in Bar A.
That's interesting.
And there's no places for us to really expand up here. There's no real rooms to play. There's a couple, but and then again, we're at the age where we're not starting at 10:30. Half our crowd's in bed by 10:30.
And honestly, though, Chris, you've seen that after COVID, the shows are getting earlier and earlier.
Yes.
I don't really have a lot of late shows anymore.
Good.
Well,
I'm in bed in my jammies by 11. I used to come home at 4 o'clock in the morning.
I used to think it was, it was us, that was driving that.
Yeah.
But even the younger generation doesn't want to be out after midnight. They want to be done.
Everything's different now. Everything's different. Yeah.
And most of these places, their liquor licenses go to 2 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
Oh wow, that's
And
got to be bad for them.
And then, you know, when they're done at 11 o'clock, Tommy calls them business prevention specialists because they kick everybody out at like 11:30, you know, because the show's over.
Yeah, you could be making bank till 2 a.m.
Well, yeah. I mean, I noticed it when, you know, we've done a couple of gigs at Bar A. Like, we hit the last note. Good night, everybody. Whew, tumbleweed. Coming through Bar
Show's
A.
over, empty.
When there used to be the second shift and the second winds, it's like a lot of these places, they're done. It's over.
All right. I only play till 2 a.m. when I played Nardies. That's it. I can't think of any other gig that I go that late.
Nardies, they know that they have the bus to drive them back.
Yeah.
Well, that's my neighborhood. I live right there.
Yeah.
So
That's a late night getting home when
I have to tell you, my last gig playing in a band before Suit and Mai Tai, like my last, all right, this is, you know, I'm going to hang up my bar shoes.
Right.
And in fact, Scott, you were there, you know,
Probably.
in the days when I did the, you know, like the Monday night band or the Sunday night band with Monty and the rest of those guys, you know, that was my last hurrah, what I thought was going to be my last hurrah until this thing fell into my lap, literally. And this band is spawned from the pandemic, believe it or not.
Really?
Yeah. Yep. I used to go on Facebook when it was Flurbal's Day, you know, when all the days used to mesh together. You didn't know if it was, you know, it was like the guy Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. You didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
And I would go on Facebook at like 2 a.m. and be like, okay, kids, Yacht Rock Radio. And I'd start playing Yacht Rock songs, you know. And then I got a private message from my drummer, Chris, and he goes, if you're ever thinking about putting together a Yacht Rock band, I am your drummer. And I answered him back in capital letters with 2 words and exclamation points. No bands.
Really? Oh, that's
and
great.
He kept hounding me. He's like, come on, it's going to be great. You should do this. And meanwhile, I was doing all these fun pandemic videos with the girl Lauren in my band. And we were doing all these videos together. Like, you know, she would record her parts at home. I'd record mine. And then we'd like, all right, go out in your backyard and use your camera and do this. And I'd edit it all together and we'd make all these music videos. And we had a very good, our voices worked very well together. The partnership was very well together. And I had the guy, Ron, who basically did all the weddings with me, and we blended very well. And Chris, the drummer, keeps pushing. And I turned around and said, fine, if we're going to do the band, I pick the members. And he's like, fine. And I called up Lauren. Literally, this is God's truth. I called her up. I said, Lauren, yeah. I said, you're in a band now. She said, I am. I said, yeah. Okay. Called Ron. You're in a band now. I am. Yeah.
Well, that's fantastic.
I thought you were asking, are you in a band? Are you available?
No, you're in a band. You're in a band now. And
okay.
I got everybody on a Zoom, and we said, all right, we're going to do. Everybody learn one song that they'll sing. One of the singers, you know, because me, Ron, and Lauren are singers. Each one of you learn a song. We'll all get together, and we'll see what it sounds like. And we went in the studio, and we were like,
oh, it's magic, you know.
Yeah. You know, I can't tell you how many times up and into, including the Stone Pony, where I have imposter syndrome in this band. I figured any day now they'll figure me out. Any day now they'll figure me out. I'll get thrown the frig out of this thing for a real singer piano player, you know? Because I really am in awe with these guys. I just sit back and I'm like,
I'm in awe. I was just sitting there going, the vocals. Listen, there's so many great players out there, but the thing I always saw the most of, the vocals weren't strong.
Right.
There's a lot of bands where the vocals aren't strong. Musically, they're fantastic, and as soon as the guy opens his mouth, oh boy, here we go.
Yeah.
The blend works. That's the other thing.
3
too.
Strong singers.
Well, that's just it. It's not Crosby, Stills, and Irving.
Yeah.
You know, it's like it works. That was the thing that really stood out to me is when the 3 of us sang together. There was it made its own tone.
Yeah.
and it was pleasant. You know what I mean? I don't think it make it its own tone, but it was a very pleasant tone. And, you know, everybody can hold their own vocally, which was very odd for me because I've always been, and it's the first time that I've ever been in, you guys have been in bands. Okay. So it's the first time that I've ever been in a band still to this day. And we're playing together close to 3.5 years, where I don't get up on the stage and I go, okay, we're getting ready to play with this band. And I can't stand that mother right there.
Right, yeah.
You know, there's always that one guy in the band. You know, we're having a good time except for that mother.
Yeah.
I honestly, we all, you know, we're not like, we don't disagree. We disagree, but we disagree healthy.
Yeah.
Right.
The thing that, one of the funniest stories that I tell is when I was, you know, we were learning scenes from an Italian restaurant.
Okay.
Lauren is the music director of the band. And I'm the band leader. So, but she's got the ears. We call her the Penguin. Okay. It's a term of endearment from the Blues Brothers. If we play something wrong, it's like she takes her yardstick and taps you and goes, no, okay, that's so we call her the Penguin. So she said, all right, Chris, because I've been a solo player and a wedding player for so long. She says, if we're going to do scenes from an Italian restaurant, you have to go home and you have to learn the solo verbatim. That's how this band rolls. I said, okay. So I'm here in this studio right here,
right,
and I'm practicing. Now I'm rolling, I'm trying, and my daughter comes down and she sits on this couch behind me and she's seeing me shed wood. And she comes in, she goes, I never really saw you work this hard before. And I said, well, you know, we have a level of excellence that I guess we're trying to achieve, and I really want to do my part and do it right. She's like, okay. And she goes, hey, Dad, do you like everybody in your band? And I said, this is the first band I've ever been when I sincerely love everybody that I played with. I said, however, I said, I couldn't be in this band if I was 23. At the time, I was 53. So I couldn't be in this band if I was 23. She said, why? I said, because at 23, when Lauren told me to go home to learn how to play the solo, I would have said, go fuck yourself. Right. And at 53, I know that there's a greater good, you know, to the reason what you got to drop the ego and grow up a little bit. And that's the one big takeaway that I've got from this thing is I've come into this whole entire project not like I'm owed. It's more like I'm humbled. Holy shit, look at what's happening. Look at the people I get to play with. Listen to the way this thing sounds. Holy shit, we sold out the friggin' Stone Pony.
Yeah, isn't that something?
You know, when we got the gig, that was its own thing. Holy shit. You're not only getting to play the Stone Pony, you're headlining the Stone Pony. Okay, there's that part of it. And then it's like, well, if you do about 500 people, it'll be a very successful night. So that was the goal. It's like, all right, let's do 500 people. If we do 600, it'll be like, you know, a big victory. The sellout, that'll be like the Super Bowl. But we ain't going to sell this thing. It's the first time in. We're going to do that. And the funny thing is, you need a Kyle Brendel to English dictionary when you talk to Kyle, because, you know, we were trying to find out, because we were looking at stuff, if we're trying to find out if we're sold out, and Kyle was the only one who knew the ticket sales.
Yeah, he's he's one of the Stone Pony guys for people that don't live in New Jersey.
Yeah, he's like the promoter for the Stone Pony.
Yeah.
So we're like, Kyle, did we sell out?
Not.
Kyle, come on, man. Let me know if we sold this thing out. All I see is resales. You know what I mean? Like all the main tickets were sold and they were doing
Nothing.
You know, like, We're sitting on the edge of our seats. It's like 2 days before the event. Did we really sell this out before the damn event happened? And he texts us. He goes, "You sold this thing out, dude. And there's no room at the end. No one else can get in. It's done." And then to get up on that stage and 850 people, the end of the night, we do Come Sail Away. And for those of you who don't, haven't experienced the Suit and Mai Tai show, we end the night with that, and it serves two purposes. One is from the band, and one is kind of personal for me. What I usually say to the audience, which is the truth, the biggest gift you can give us is your time and attention. And we thank you all very much for doing both of that.
Nobody left early.
And then the last thing I usually say, because my late son, who died in a boating accident 10 years ago, that song kind of weighs kind of special. That's when I usually say, this is going out to a 10-year-old little boy who'd be awfully proud of his dad right about now.
Oh.
And I started playing it, and I went, "I'm sad." I go, "You do it." The whole entire first verse.
Yeah.
The audience sang.
Loud as hell.
The entire, they weren't.
No, they were
all in, bought the Kool-Aid. They just sang the whole entire first verse. I felt like a rock star. I'm not a guy in a cover band that night. I'm sitting behind the baby grand shell I have, and these guys are just singing it right back at me. It made the fur rise, and it was,
that was a moment for sure.
Oh gosh. Yeah. Look, getting up on that stage.
And they just did not leave. Nobody left early except Dave Cohen. But
it's true. It's true.
Because he's got a girlfriend now.
Well, would you want to leave early?
I leave early if I had a girlfriend now.
My wife didn't even go to the show. She's like, "Go to work. I'll see you later on."
We were looking for her.
Yeah, what the heck?
I go to work. She don't come to the show.
Okay. All right, I'll remember that. Aaron. All right.
Yeah. Now let me ask you.
Enough.
It was a puppy thing. She got.
Yeah, and I've seen you guys multiple times too. David said defensively, but what did it mean for you? Stone Pony. There's other great venues, obviously, but I mean the Stone Pony. There's some really beautiful ghosts in that venue.
Yes.
I mean, oh my God.
Yes.
I mean, I listened twice to the Bruce Springsteen biography, and it just sort of. It's not the only place that brought him up, but
I try not to get too caught up in that whole.
I graduated from dumps to dives in the late 80s, early 90s. I graduated from dumps to dives, and I was able to play on a lot of amazing stages, and not so amazing stages. I went from like playing the Garden to playing the Olive Garden. And it's like and it's. What are you doing? I'm playing the Garden tonight. Really? Yeah, the Olive Garden on Route 206. And I never played the Pony. And there's a history. Come on, if you're a Jersey boy, there's a history of playing the Pony, from Southside Johnny to Bon Jovi to Springsteen and all the legends that have been up on that stage and have played all these shows and stuff like that. And to get an opportunity to just to play it in general is one thing. But to get an opportunity to headline it, you're like, really? And then, and when you get a chance to, and then you hear you sold it out. I literally, my brother, and I got to see if I can find a picture. My brother is 11 years older than me.
Okay.
And when I was 17, 18. And Bruce Springsteen was right there at with the Born to Run album, and he looked like him.
Okay.
Like back in the day with the Goopaline on and the way his beard was and everything. They used to call my brother the Boss because he looked like
This is actually Bruce Springsteen's shirt. I stole it for the show.
Oh, really?
No.
That was funny.
That was good.
But he used to look like him. And my brother, he's down in Florida, and he's been living there now for the last 30 years. And he tried to make it he couldn't because flights and bullshit. But, when I told him, I said, your baby brother's headlining Stone Pony.
He's like, what?
Yeah.
He was like, and then when I called him up, I'm not going to lie. I mean, I got choked up.
As you should.
And I got choked up because not only did I get a chance to headline, I walked around the house for like a good half an hour going, I can't believe we sold out the Stone Pony.
Yeah.
We sold it out. And it would have hit different if we did it the night of.
You're right.
Right.
But
Which would still be great.
Which, of course.
Yeah.
But 2 days before that lead up of 2 days of.
Well, I saw the promotion say, "Hey, tickets are running out," and I said, "Oh, that's such a dirty trick." That'll.
I thought the same thing. Yeah.
There's no
ticket
way.
alert.
There's no fucking way we're selling this place out.
3 days before the show, Kyle told me we sold 721 tickets, and that there was 109 or 10 left. And when he said that, I was like, if we don't sell another one, this is a home run already.
Right. Yeah.
And the next day,
because people they could get tickets at the door too.
Well, that was the thing that Tommy was afraid of. Like, there's people who know, the people who know the pony. They're like, look, we'll save ourselves some fees. We'll go to the door. And we'll buy tickets at the door.
Because it's rarely sold out unless it's a big act. They
were turning people. See, that's the other thing that, I'm glad we're talking about. It's going to make me remember now. We probably could have had 850 is a sellout. We probably could have had 1,000 people in there.
Easily.
Like, if not more, 1,100.
Yeah.
Because people were calling me and texting me the day of the show. Wait, what do you mean we can't get tickets? What is it? You guys, you didn't see the promotion. We've been promoting it for 2 months hard. And you figured, they ain't going to sell the place out. And I figured, we ain't going to sell the place out.
Don't worry about it. You'll get in.
Yeah, you'll get in. Don't worry about it. And then they were turning people away from the door.
Yeah.
Because down the road at the Wonder Bar, we sold that out the year before, which, led to this whole Stone Pony thing. But at least there, it's like, okay, well, if people leave, new people can come in.
Right.
Pony don't have that rule. Pony's like, if you don't have a ticket, you ain't getting in. It's over. There's no overselling it. It's done.
It's such a beautiful accomplishment. I mean, both you guys on that stage and a very happy audience, a huge audience. I mean, filled to capacity. And yeah, it's such, because the building's special. There's other buildings I'm sure you both have played with as many, maybe even more people, but it's the fucking Pony. I mean,
exactly.
And if you forget the history, look at the walls, look at the guitars hanging on the walls. Google the Stone Pony.
There's a moment after everybody sound checked, and it's right before they open the doors to let everybody in. They have all the blue lights on. The whole place is like just bathed in blue, dark blue, navy. And I'm standing out there in the middle of the dance floor, just staring up at the stage, saying to myself, in about 15 minutes, you're not going to be able to breathe in this place. And they're all here to see us.
Yeah.
What the hell is going on right now? I'm telling you.
I was thinking, am I going to lose my voice before the show's over? Is my guitar going to smoke?
Oh, I've done.
I was on a whole other level.
You had one job. Hit the button. No, but I had just gotten over a sinus infection.
Yeah.
Literally that Tuesday morning, the week of the show, I was hopped up on antibiotics. Oh yeah, I did. I really did. I looked like, I'm not an animal. I looked like Elephant Man. And I didn't know if I was going to, what the heck I was going to look or feel like before the show. And Friday, everything just kind of calmed down and seized, and, I get back up there. I mean, I have to be honest, I wasn't in full voice, which annoys me. But
Right.
I went.
I turned my
made it
head.
through.
My ears are so clogged. I turned my head, and then my head turned. I'm like, if I pass out on the stage, that's gonna suck.
Yeah, no, I first of all, this isn't a winter. This is harassment. Okay.
Yeah. It's next
not being a
level.
winter, and this is now harassment. Okay.
Oh.
This has probably been one of the worst winters I've ever lived through in my life.
It really, yeah.
And picking up a cold and then keeping it for 2 weeks was outstanding when you're a vocalist. Especially when you got that big of a gig coming up. Singing,
stressing over it.
Yeah, and well, that doesn't help you heal either when you're stressing over something like that. But I have to tell you, we prepared. We had vocal rehearsals only. A lot of the stuff that we played all like a whole bunch of times. So it was just like a run through with that stuff. But we learned like about half a dozen new songs for the show because we wanted to give people who've seen us a bunch of times something new to listen to. And even when you feel like you're prepared, we still hit more clams than Umbertos on a Saturday night, and it's like Dory, just keep swimming, just keep swimming.
I like that reference.
And it really is. It's just like
don't make any faces.
Don't make any faces. You screw up.
I can't remember what solo I was playing, but it's one of my big guitar solos, and I'm wailing away, and it's going really great. And I know there's a lot of great guitar players in the audience. Of course, Mike Mano's there. I'm like, hey, Mike, check this out, right? So I'm wailing away, and all of a sudden, the pony stage goes into this strobe thing. Like, it was dark and light,
Right.
And I lost. All of a sudden, I fucking didn't know where the hell my fingers were at. A solo I played gazillion times, and all of a sudden, I'm going from memory, and it's not going well.
The meme I put up was
I somehow pulled out of it and did the old ray gun thing. Maybe that was a solo.
When the meme I put up is when you only hit 3 notes right in your entire solo and you just keep smiling through it.
Keep going, baby. Don't stop.
Oh, we were hitting like some clams, and I just look at Lauren looked at me, and we're like, yeah, this ain't nothing but a thing.
Keep going, baby.
You had Falcone on, who's Johnny Falcone.
Oh, he's great.
He's fantastic. He's
really
we call him our guru, because he's not wrong.
No, I mean, he knows.
He's not wrong.
Yeah,
everything that he said, we're like,
Leonardo
DiCaprio.
He's got a lot of wisdom going on.
One sign of an amateur band isn't that they make mistakes on stage. It's how they react when a mistake happens. First off, there's a big difference between playing something wrong and just making a small mistake. Like if you know the part and you flub a note or miss a hit or come in a little early, that shouldn't throw the whole band off. What does make it worse is when people start looking at each other and shaking their heads or making faces or clearly signaling that something went wrong. Because the second you do that, you've now told the audience like, hey, something just happened. Even though most people will have never noticed it. The reality is crowds are more focused on the energy and the vibe of the performance rather than the technical perfection. Like professional bands mess up all the time. The difference is they don't advertise it to the crowd. Like in my band, if something happens, maybe there's like a quick little glance or a little smirk between us, but we never make it this big moment. We just keep it moving. To be honest, the last show, I started the wrong song, and instead of just stopping or panicking, we just plowed through it and rolled with it. And I asked people after the show, I was like, hey, did you notice that? And they were like, I didn't notice anything. I started the wrong song. So if you're in a band, especially a newer band, just remember that it's not the mistakes that make you look bad. It's how you react to them. How does your band handle mistakes on stage? Please let me know in the comments below.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many guys I heard from, like, including you and Janner and stuff, like, I want to be on bring him back. I want to be on the show with him.
Absolutely.
I have so much to ask him. I have so much.
Let's get him back on. Let's do it.
Johnny totally wants to come on again. No question about it.
Oh, yeah.
Let me know. I'm in.
We'll have a big round table.
We'll do a panel show.
We'll have a bitch session, a cover band bitch session.
No, I mean, he said a lot of things, that are thought of but never spoken
Yeah.
in bands.
Yeah.
You know, one of the things that I always talk about is like, you know, in a lot of the bands that I was in, it's like if there's 4 members of the band, 3 are trying to push the bus up the hill, and there's always that one asshole in the front seat stepping on the brake. You know what I mean? It's like,
I love that.
and the rotating asshole theory, you know, like he's an asshole today, I'm the asshole tomorrow. There's, you know,
Yeah.
Right.
and just to sit back and listen to some of the things he says, you're like, yeah, I've been in that band. You know,
Yeah. Yeah. If you do it long enough.
well, that's just it. If you do it long enough, you get to see and experience absolutely everything.
Exactly. Well, Dave, you know what? We did an hour already.
We did an hour and it felt like 3 minutes.
I
which
know.
is a good thing.
So
Thank
much
you
for
for
your
having me on.
Stone Pony show that you wanted to do.
Well, I know we covered it, but
Yeah.
there's so much more. That's what I love about this. There's no script to our shows.
I did want to mention one thing people don't realize, like, because I took a picture of the sheet that's at the Stone Pony. They have
Okay.
the times when
I saw that.
and even my wife's like, "You got to get there at 3:00. We don't go on till 7. Suit and Mai Tai didn't go on till 9.
Yeah, about 9. You went on at 8. You went on about 10.
Oh,
You
8
took
o'clock.
out about 10 of 8.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Doors were at 7. We went on it. Right.
Right.
So, but it shows all the times are broken down, and when the crew's got to be there, and when sound check is, and when the load in it, and it's all figured, and you have to be on time.
Professional like.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
And I'm saying to myself, it couldn't have been this way all the time.
No.
No.
No, because you'll always have that one guy that shows up an hour and a half later. And
When we played MetLife Stadium, we did that thing out front. The crew was
Yeah.
like, "You're the band and you're here already?" Yeah. That's what load-in time is. It's like everybody is late. You guys are the first band to ever be here on time. And they were happy. Because listen, you're screwing over the crew. It's like when it's even if you play too many encores and you go over,
Here's
the crew gets pissed.
take that out of it. I'll go even simpler. I used to play this little hole in the wall up here in Morris County. Okay. And, you know, it wasn't the greatest gig in the world, but it was a gig at the time. And, you know, every gig was important, you know. And we played it and the place was dead empty. Dead empty. But at the end of the night, we'd take $20 of our pay and we'd give it to the bartender. And the bartender would turn to the owner and go, "This is the greatest band ever. Have them back." You know what I mean? And they would have us back. The crew showing up on time, being set up, being a professional, setting up, sound checking in a timely fashion, getting it done. If you had a bad show, the crew turns to the owner and, "I want that band back."
Right.
Yeah.
I want that band back. They were so professional. They were so easy to work with. They were so friendly.
Even though, well, you know that most people may not know this is more inside Pony stuff, but they have a front of house sound guy and they have a monitoring sound guy. And when you're setting up your monitoring, he goes to get everybody's levels right, and then he, without saying blah blah blah, and then the mic, blah, 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 to have 7 people at once, he goes, "Who needs Scott in his in their monitor?" And you just hold up one finger. That's it.
And as soon as you get the right amount in your monitor,
put your hand down. That was the fastest, easiest monitoring situation you'll ever have is at the Stone Pony.
And you want to see it get faster. We just spent a bunch of dollars to do the whole IEM system now. So now when we go to places, I'm handing the sound engineer tails.
Right.
And they're literally plugging it into their board, and we're plugging directly into our system. Whatever they do front of houses, whatever they do, we have our complete control over our monitoring system with our phones and an app.
Yeah, that's in-ears, Jay.
In-ears. Yeah, in the in-ear system.
There's in-ear monitor.
There's no floor wedges anymore. It's all going to be clean on the stage. There's just going to be
fantastic.
And we're going into a complete IEM system now, which, you know, we're breaking in on the 11th. We're going to do we rented a big stage, and we're going to set the whole thing up, and we're going to dial it all in, so that now when we do shows, we just show up with our little rack and hand the sound engineer the cable. So whatever they do front of house is front of house, but our monitor mix stays the exact same.
We got it.
Slight adjustments.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. Monitoring is super important.
Oh my gosh. It really is. Well, like you said, I mean, you might have lost your hand, but if you were hearing yourself properly, You would have known where your hand, where you were on the fretboard. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You'd be like, oh, all right, it just makes such a difference in the world, and even over singing, because if you're too low when you're a singer, and the band sounds like here, and you're vocally here, and you start singing too hard,
you're straining.
to try to
overcompensate to try to bring. There is no volume control in this, but we try to make it so. And the next thing you know, you get to the end. You get the end of your second set, and you're like, you sound like Wolfman Jack.
What we hear on the stage.
That's a good old man reference.
Yeah.
Hey, baby.
Hey, baby.
Yeah.
What they hear out front and what we hear on the stage is two completely different things.
Right.
Yeah.
And we've done it where it was train wreck radio.
And the front of house sound of the Stone Pony is world class.
It's like a record.
Oh my God, it's so good.
You're not like going, oh my God, it's excruciating. It sounds like a fucking hi-fi stereo.
Literally, it was like Frampton comes alive in the room.
That room sounds phenomenal.
Oh, the sound and lights are second to none when you're when you're there to see a show.
It's so good.
It's so good.
It really is. All right, gentlemen, we can go on all night.
Yes.
Good.
Thank you for having me, gentlemen.
Oh,
thanks for stopping in, Chris. I texted Chris at the last second.
Yeah, we were going to do an internet
sort of a surprise guest pop in. We're going to talk about the show that we just had last week, and it was fun to have you on. Always good to see you.
Always a pleasure to be on here.
Absolutely.
And if you do Johnny Falcone, call me. I'm definitely.
We're gonna have like 100 little Brady Bunch things.
It's gonna look like it's gonna look like a big business Zoom meeting for a corporation.
That's what we should do. Let's go back to Zoom. Who needs a good platform?
Thanks, guys.
Absolutely.
You. Let's end the show with a great singer, Mariah Famika, who's was doing some docking songs with the great Georgia Lynch.
I saw that; it was great.
Her career is really taking. She's so good, great.
Yeah, and she's so young. There's amazing things in her future.
Yeah, enough of that young stuff.
Again, a younger person who's gravitating towards the old stuff.
Again, yep,
absolutely.
Yeah, and
well, thank you, everyone.
Love you, everybody. Show. Sorry we took so long to get back,
but we are back. All right, take care, everyone.
Be good.
Hey, what's going on? This is Mariah Famika from the band Plush, and you're watching Guitar Tales with Dave Cohen.